Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another astonishing episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. I'm your host, that ocean crossing, straight up bossing, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 4 continents down, 2 more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. But it's not about me. See, we have a special guest tonight. This woman has actually graduated from the Team Adams Academy. Yes, that if you know, you know. And if you don't know, the Team Adams Academy is the same place that's actually launched the careers of your one half of your AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, Megan Bayne, Tasha Steelz, former WWE Evolve Women's Champion Wendy Chu, and even current Ring of Honor TV Women's Television Champion Deonna Purrazzo. This woman has been making a name for herself in the tri-state area, battling veterans such as Tina San Antonio. Heck, even giving the Battle Club Pro Icons champion Gem a run for her money. She is a full-time wrestler, part-time gym rat. Everybody, welcome to the show, the next big thing, Mel Ortiz. How you doing tonight, miss?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Great. We're so excited. We're so pumped to have you on the show. You know, when we saw your match against, Aria Rose, we were very impressed. We thought Aria Rose was done. For how she made it happen, I don't know. I was surprised, but I got a feeling that, next time when y'all run it back, it might be a different result. But you were very excited, and, here we are today.
Yeah, Aria got lucky. She had Brian, so makes sense.
So, we normally ask, 90% of our guests that we have on here, just to give our, viewers and listeners at home a bit of a backstory. How did it all start for the next big thing? What was the match or the event that you saw that made you go, wow, I'm interested, I'm fully invested, y'all got a fan of me for life?
Well, it started when I was 9 years old. My brother-in-law, he is in the military, or was in the military.
Okay.
And he had came to my house one night for dinner, and he put on Monday Night Raw. And at the time, the women were still divas, and I caught like a 3-minute match between AJ Lee and Layla. And the minute I saw it, I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And I started watching videos on YouTube, everything about WWE, NXT, back when they used to do like the competitions and stuff with Matt Striker. And then that same year, one of my Christmas presents was to go to MSG and see a WWE event live. And my favorite wrestler was Dolph Ziggler. And so I got to watch him in a steel cage match versus John Cena all the way up in the nosebleeds. And it was the best night of my life. And I knew I had to be a wrestler.
Wow, that's cool. And that's crazy because, you're Puerto Rican. And the first wrestler you saw in action on TV was AJ Lee, who's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So what does it mean for you when you see, AJ Lee being, I've always, you might have a differing opinion. I've always said AJ Lee is one half of the revolution that took women from being divas to going to the next level to being just as competitive as the men. And the other half I'd always say was Paige, because, they didn't have to be bikini models. They were just themselves, and they still had a lot of fans, a lot of guys, lining up to actually, get autographs, take pictures with them, paying money to see them. And I'm not shaming those women that from the Divas era, but they were just something different. So what does it mean for you when you see that? And now you see, women of the Latino community getting more shine. You got, people like, Raquel Rodriguez. I mean, she's Mexican, but she's still part of the Latino community. She's now your current WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. You got the Bella Twins, who are still doing their thing. They're half Mexican. You got, Lola Vice, kicking butt, taking names, and doing that cool dance she does, representing, not just Cubans, but Latino community as well. What does that do for you as a woman who is part of the, Latino community?
Yeah, I mean, I think representation is everything. I think I was able to connect with AJ the most. Not that I've ever met her in person, but just even through a screen. Not only because she is Hispanic, but also she's from the tri-state area as well. And because her biggest thing was that she didn't really care about how she looked. She knew she didn't look like a Barbie doll, and she just worried about what she did in the ring. And that resonated really well with me as somebody that is not like uberly feminine. And obviously, us being Hispanic from the same area, it was definitely great to see or to have a role model and somebody that has a similar background and see them make it. So even though, I mean, with most things in my life, somebody tells me I can't do something, I tell them, well, go ahead and watch me. But it definitely helps when you see other people doing it. It makes you believe you have a chance. And I'm one of the biggest lover of people having dreams. I think everybody should have a dream. I love being a dreamer. And so I think any way in which we can support that and just keep the ball rolling, like you named all the women there that are already in the industry that are doing it, and then women like myself up and coming. I mean, that's what makes it important. So
Wow. Yeah, that's representation. I've always told, and I had this argument with a guy previously before. He was saying, "Oh, race doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter." And I was trying to explain to him that it does mean a lot because representation then breeds to inspiration, encouraging more people to do it like that person. You know, I saw. I'm Guyanese. I never in my life thought I would see a Guyanese wrestler, and then lo and behold, Ezekiel Jackson was there. And then now I found out about Kenny King, and now Willow Nightingale, who is the current AEW Women's Champion, who's half Guyanese, is actually there too. So I mean, I'm not gonna be a wrestler, but I mean, it just it's just inspiring. So
yeah,
yeah. So
it breeds confidence.
yeah. So another question about representation: what was your mindset when you saw WWE hold Backlash 3 years ago in Puerto Rico? What was good? Because I know me, I'm not even Puerto Rican, and I was happy for. I'm like, yeah. And I know that I don't mean to sound morbid. There was an incident years before that, probably before I was born around the time you probably weren't born, but there was the Bruiser Brody incident. If you know, and people say that
Mhm.
that kind of like dimmed like any interest in outside companies going to Puerto Rico and holding events. But Derby, they're like, you know what? The people of Puerto Rico deserve it. Let's hold Backlash there. So, what was your mindset when that was happening?
Yeah, let me tell you. I mean, first off, I wish. I mean, of course, I every day I'm like, oh, I can't wait till I get signed. But when that happened, I was like, oh, really? Like, did couldn't I have been born like a couple years earlier? Maybe like speed up the process a little bit. Just because I would have loved to be a part of something like that. And even now, just I mean, I haven't been able to wrestle in Puerto Rico just yet, but I know for a fact that an opportunity is gonna come knocking at some point. But I mean, yeah, what an event! And then when like Bad Bunny showed up, I mean, it's just like it's deafening. And even through the screen, you could just like you see the camera shaking from how loud it was. I mean, wrestling is big everywhere, but especially in Puerto Rico. But like you said, unless you go there and there's that representation there, you don't really realize how big it is for them until they're there. So that was actually really cool.
Yeah, I'm glad y'all actually got that opportunity. I hope there's more where that came from, but because I know that the wrestling scene down there is huge. Y'all got a lot of talent down there that people haven't really tapped into yet. We're gonna tap into it because we're Ringside Society. We've actually had one woman. Her name was we have La Rosa Negra,
Hmm.
who but we had a woman by the name of I forgot what her name. Roxy Boricua. Yes, Roxy. But I don't know if
Okay.
she still wrestles. But we had her on. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, and she didn't speak Spanish. She didn't speak English. And I'm like, okay, don't worry, we got you. We found somebody to translate for her, and yeah, it was
Nice.
it was an interesting interview. But yeah, man, I'm hoping y'all get more um, events down there. I know you're gonna make it to Puerto Rico. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say right now, you're gonna end up wrestling for WWC, the WWE of Puerto Rico. You're gonna end up wrestling there. You're gonna meet Carlos Colon. I know it's gonna happen. It's undeniable. Come on, you're the next
It
big
is
thing.
no, it's absolutely
Come
going
on.
to happen. There's nothing that can stop me. So 100% it's going to happen. It's really just a matter of when. But I know, I mean, the
I give it
island
a
wants
year.
their princess
I give
back.
it
I
a
mean,
year or 2 year, at least a year, 3 years the most. I'll bet anybody a Chick-fil-A sandwich. I don't bet money, but I bet a Chick-fil-A deluxe sandwich is gonna happen within 3 years, the most.
yeah, I mean, I'll
Yeah.
follow you on that. I don't eat Chick-fil-A too much, but I'll follow you on that.
Yeah. So let's talk about you becoming a wrestler. So you're a wrestling fan. You're enjoying the show. You're supporting your favorites. Dolph Ziggler. You're tuning into him. You're watching AJ Lee, John Cena, if you could see him. But now you're like, yo, you know what? I want to give this a shot. I want to give this a shot as a pro wrestler. I want to be the focal point. I want people to watch me. So how did that journey go for you from being Mel Ortiz, pro wrestling fan, to Mel Ortiz, pro wrestler, the next big thing?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I definitely got a lot of pushback from my parents. At the time, I mean, my entire life, I've played soccer. I've played soccer since I was 4 years old. And I actually wrestled for the boys' team in middle school.
What?
And I did, yeah. And
Wow.
what, you think I got these muscles just from soccer?
Hey.
But so I started wrestling for the boys team, and I was way better than I think anybody expected me to be. I was the only girl, and a lot of the time the guys would forfeit. They didn't want to wrestle me. They didn't want to wrestle a girl. So just because of kind of all that was going on, my parents just kind of made me choose. They said, you either got to choose soccer or wrestling. So I stuck with soccer because I knew that if I wanted, opportunities in college, it could definitely take me there because I had so much experience in already. But my senior year, COVID hit, the world shut down, and I was supposed to play soccer in college. And then because the timing of the season and everything was going to get messed up, I just said, screw it, forget soccer. I'm just going to find a school and I'm going to go wrestle. And that's when I started training. It was pretty much like I had to wait till I was 18, but because of COVID, I didn't actually start until I was like 19, 20. So
Wow, that's awesome. I'm sorry that COVID kind of messed up your plans. I mean, it messed up all of our plans. I'm glad you gave wrestling a chance. You could stick with it. So wait, you could do a Pele kick. What?
yeah.
Oh man, I'm if you haven't hit it yet, I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to it. I'm like, where's she gonna hit it? Where's she gonna hit that kick? Oh, she just hit it.
There you
Yo.
go. I was also a goalkeeper, so if you wonder where like the dives come from off the top rope, that's all that
Hey,
right
you
there.
could be honest something with that. Hey, Art Barr, Eddie Guerrero's friend, had a funny way of doing a splash. People say he looked like a frog. Lo and
There you go.
behold, Eddie Guerrero actually, once his friend passed away, because that was Eddie Guerrero's like best friend. Eddie Guerrero started doing the frog splash in honor of him, and now unfortunately, Eddie Guerrero is no longer with us.
Right.
Everybody that is doing it that was a fan of his, that's a wrestler, is doing it in not to copy him, but in honor of him. So, hey, you could be onto something, I can see you do like a little crossbody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So Team Adams, man, like what was the training like over there? I know Damian Adams, he's the man, and I'm not just here. I'm not just saying that he's one of the, I can't say the man, he's one of the men because there are other great prominent people. I know, like when I hear, oh, this person got trained by them, oh man, they gonna be like that's like they gonna be hit, they gonna be like, I'm sorry, something over my words. They're gonna be wrestling with precision because I know that person trained them. So, Damian Adams. For those of y'all that don't know, Damian Adams is a pro wrestler. He wrestled in OVW, I believe, Major League Wrestling, and several other places. A great trainer who has trained some of your favorites today, as I mentioned earlier in the show. So, what was it like training, like the training like over there?
Training with Damien is definitely I don't think I've ever trained anywhere else that even comes close to the way that he trains. Team Adams in general, I mean, what, like a crazy dysfunctional family. But I love all the people that are part of Team Adams. They're some of my favorite people in the entire world, especially Damien himself. I love when he texts me. Damien makes me feel like I am actually the biggest person in the world because he makes it seem like my muscles, I mean, they're pretty big already, but the way he texts me sometimes, he makes it seem like I'm as big as John Cena. So I really appreciate that. But in terms of the training, it's always been very rough, but also effective. Like there have been times where I've shown up to practice and, I'm the one that is in the ring the entire time. Just someone coming in, a new fresh person every single time, just coming in and we're chaining and we're doing this, we're doing that. And we could go like that for, over an hour and there's no AC and it's middle of August and it is extremely hot in the building where you're sweating even just by standing in the ring and just going toe to toe with whoever he throws at me next. And it's, he's called me shark bait and I've been shark bait many times, but I know being shark bait has definitely been what's allowed me to not only look as great as I do, but also learn in the way in which I need to learn, especially as somebody that is up and coming and not necessarily the most established just yet. So,
yeah, that sounds like not necessarily being shark bait, but like he's just training you to be strong because he knows that you can definitely do it. And like I said, I got a good feeling that, I mean, you've already faced some of the veterans. Like you faced, some big names like Tina San Antonio, the Concrete Cowboy. You've had 2 run-ins with her. You faced Battle Club Pro Icons Battle Club Pro Icon champion, Jem, and Aria Rose and Emily May recently as well too. So I got a feeling that kind of training I know that training is definitely paying off. So, but what was it like? So I saw that you actually, speaking of Tina San Antonio, she's I believe 15 plus year vet. Tina, please don't kick my butt for actually saying, putting all those years. I know women in years, they're kind of like, it's a touchy subject. So Tina, please, I know you about that life. Please, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But what was it like, facing? So what was it like, when you found out that you had to face Tina San Antonio? You're stepping in the ring with a woman who has all those years of knowledge in the ring, and facing off against even Jem, who's also has a few years under her belt as well. Not as much as Tina. Definitely not as much. She has like barely a couple of years, like 4 years, but still a lot of knowledge she's gained. What was it like facing off against those women, especially in that triple threat match where I saw, and wow, that was the Legos, man. I was like, I swear, I heard Jem yell all the way over here. What was that like going up against those women?
Yeah, I mean, Tina's part of Team Adams. So Tina is definitely one of my mentors, and I tell her that all the time. I love Tina. Tina is just one of those women that you can't help but admire. And you can't blow her head up too much because, she's the boss, and you're right, she probably will find you and then kick your ass later about it. But, Tina is just one of those people that I learned so much from her. And just when I think like, man, okay, like maybe, I'm getting the ball rolling, she still just always finds a way to teach me something new and one up me again, like she'll throw me some tricks here and there that she'll teach me, but she's never going to teach me everything. And I respect that. But yeah, like what a veteran of the game. And like I said, truly, truly inspiring. And then with Jem, yeah, like Jem's not too much older than me, but even with Jem, Jem is very, I don't want to say sneaky because I feel like that kind of sounds like mean. But Jem is very, she's got like survival instincts, like she's just she's almost like a cat in a way. I don't like she can kind of just get you from anywhere, even if it doesn't really make sense how she got you from there. But I feel like, especially in that triple threat match, that's kind of what made it so great, though, because Jem was over here kind of like like a scrappy cat. And then you've got me just like this big boulder. And then you have Tina, who's just so much of a veteran, right? Like, that match is definitely one of my favorite matches, one of my only hardcore matches. So that was also very fun. And I would love to run it back with them three again and actually use maybe some bigger weapons this time. Maybe get some like sheet pans or something like that in there.
Ooh, okay. Oh, you looking for that smoke? All right.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't got to keep it clean all the time, right?
yeah, true. So you mentioned inspiring. So you're an athlete, of course. You're a natural athlete. You, as you said before, you wrestled on the boys team in high school, and you played soccer as well. So who would you say are some athletes outside of professional wrestling that inspire Mel Ortiz the next big thing in her everyday life?
Yeah. Well, I've always been a big fan of Ronda Rousey way before she ever came to WWE.
Okay.
I followed Ronda when she pretty much just started out in UFC, and her story super inspirational. I remember I had done a book report on her biography that she had came out with. That's how like young I was when I found Ronda, and that was when I had a brief period of where I wanted to be a UFC fighter as well. And my mom was like, absolutely not. She's like, please, like, absolutely not. Like, no, she's like, we'll stick with wrestling. That's at least the better of the two. So I would say Ronda when she was in UFC, and then I'll have to go with Conor McGregor.
Okay.
Just the guy. I mean, first off, I mean, one of the top paid athletes in the world, and he was number one on that list for quite a while. Also, just again, his story. I love a good underdog story. Conor McGregor, who was on food stamps, and he quit everything just to go and be a fighter, and to have like his girlfriend at the time supporting him, and he kept telling everybody he was going to be the first Irishman in the UFC. And he came in, and like just the charisma, everything about him, he spoke it into existence. He had the confidence, and he made his dreams come into fruition. So stories like that, I feel like I have no choice but to respect. And I love, like I said, I just love a good underdog story.
Wow, yeah, man, Conor McGregor. A lot of people are probably gonna hate me for this. People have their differing opinions about him.
Yeah,
I'd kind of liken him to like somebody like a Muhammad Ali. Like he makes the matches exciting. Like whether
yeah,
you either want to see him kick some ass or you want to see him get his ass kicked. But either way, you're gonna watch. You know,
exactly.
and one thing I'll give, and people may, like I said, people that hate him are gonna hate me for this. If that match with him and Floyd Mayweather Jr., if he had actually trained a bit more in boxing, Floyd would have lost that match. I knew Conor McGregor was going to lose because that's Floyd's territory, but he
Yeah.
didn't do too bad. He
No,
had
he
the
didn't do
reach,
bad at all.
everything. Yeah, but he just didn't have the stamina to keep on going because the average MMA match is what, 3 rounds?
Yeah.
But boxing is like in boxing you can't kick, you can't headlock, and you got to go for 12 rounds. You're
Right.
either a striker or you're just good at blocking and being defensive and so on. So
Hmm.
that wasn't a bad of a that wasn't a bad a bad boxing. I don't know if you saw that, but it wasn't a bad boxing match. I actually enjoyed it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ronda
I
Rousey on
love the
the
build up to that fight. That was amazing.
on the other hand, woof! I think she knocked out a girl in like what they said 7 seconds or 10 seconds. Any woman that can knock a woman out, anybody out in 10 seconds like that, I'm staying away from her. I'm like, look, you're a nice girl, but yeah, I'm good. I'll stay over here. Like what? Quicker than a sleeping tablet, man. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ronda's like a walking weapon. I think the first fight I saw of hers that put me on to her was against I think it was against Kat. I forget her last name. I think it's Kat Zingano or something like that.
Okay.
And she had her in an armbar, and the girl would not tap. She didn't want to tap, and Rhonda locked in that armbar so good that you literally saw her elbow pop up on this side of her arm.
Oof.
Like the arm totally inverted. And that's when I was like, that woman is actually the scariest woman on earth. And I would love to even come close to being to that, stature at some point.
I got a feeling you'll get there, man. Like I said, you got a presence that you know that people are definitely gonna be like, yo, Mel Ortiz is coming out. Is yo, we gotta watch this closely. So I definitely know you'll get that. Like I said, I'm not just saying, I definitely know that the way you're going is only a matter of time. Yeah, it's David Santono. You see, he says Mel is one of the bright rising stars of the independent scene. David, thanks for actually joining us. So Ronda Rousey was part of the Four Horsewomen. Have you ever met any of them in person? Have you ever gotten to work with any of them yet, or just like watching them through the screen or at a wrestling show?
Yeah, I've only ever watched them on TV for now, but I know for a fact I'm going to run into them at some point, and I can't wait for that day. Um, so, yeah, I've always said that I would love to, even if it wasn't wrestle Shayna Baszler, I would love to tag with Shayna Baszler. I think just the styles of us in wrestling together, I think would blend pretty well. And Shayna's pretty scary. But I think I can be deceiving. I guess it depends on who you ask. Some people say I look scary, some people say I don't. But either way, I think the two of us together, I think we do some pretty good damage.
A funny story you just remind me of Marina Shafir. There's the Four Horsewomen of MMA. There's Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, Marina Shafir, and Jessamine Duke.
Yeah.
And I remembered this was years ago. I was being an idiot. I was like, man, there's only one Four Horsewomen, and that's the Four Horsewomen of WWE. That's Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Becky Lynch. And me and another Twitter person were going at it.
Right.
And Shayna's, I guess I can't remember how Shayna's like. Shayna was like wrong, and then she showed a picture of her with Ric Flair doing the Four Horsemen sign.
There you go, yeah.
So next thing you know, I was like, I'm still going with Charlotte Flair and the gang. Those are the only Four Horsewomen that matter. And then when I looked at how Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch and the rest of them were, I was like, these women are like the Four Horsewomen. They don't even act like them. And then when I saw Shayna Baszler, the way she was with Jessamine Duke when they were in NXT and Marina Shafir, I was like, they're more like the Four Horsewomen. So one time, it was 5 years ago, it was at a WrestleCon here in New York, and I saw Marina, and I was like, Marina, and I don't know what possessed me to do this. I'm like, Marina, do you know that what, you're right. You a long time, and I told her about the situation, and I was like, you were right. You ladies, and then before I could finish, she got up, right, and she's like, no, Marina, please, don't hurt me. I'm scared because I'm 5'9". I think at the time I was like 260 pounds. I lost some weight since then, 260 pounds, maybe less. And this woman's getting up, and I know she's an MMA fan. I'm like, Marina, please, no, I'm not doing that, please. So she's like, no, I'm just getting up to fix my jacket. I'm like, all I just want to say is that you and Shayna was right. You and Shayna, y'all are the real Four Horsewomen. And I walked away quick. I'm like, look, I don't want no smoke with them at all. I was like shook. But I'm like, look, I'm from the suburbs. I can't fight. I'm good. I'm not a hood dude. Trust me. I don't want a part of that. But yeah, that was my little story for that. But we got a question from. I was gonna ask this question, but we got a question from Joe Panther the third. Shout out to Joe Panther, and he actually asked, who is on your dream list to wrestle in 2026?
Oh, 2026. So we don't have too much longer in 2026.
My apologies. It's on Instagram, so we can't really highlight it on here. But he was watching via Instagram.
Okay. Yeah, I think for 2026, I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna stick with my answer. I've been kind of nagging her online as much as I can, which is Mercedes Martinez.
Ooh,
I know
okay.
it's her last year actively wrestling. I've been to one of her seminars. I've sat under her learning tree many times now. And I always take as much advice as I possibly can from her, but I would love, I love, you know, scrapping around with the veterans. I just feel like there's no better people to learn from. And also, I just always feel like I'm such an athlete that sometimes a lot of the girls that are on the indies, just respectfully, they're not on my level. They're not on my level, so I kind of have to go a little bit higher to actually get some, real mental challenge because I mean, the physical challenge they just, they outsmart me, right? So it doesn't matter about the physical. So yeah, I would have to say Mercedes Martinez. I'm gonna keep saying it, and maybe by the end of 2026, I don't get it. Maybe it'll happen at a training session. I have no idea, but I would love to wrestle Mercedes for sure.
Well, that's definitely a great opponent to wrestle. Yeah, so much. Another one, so much knowledge, and she's actually. I think she was signed to WB at one point, and then she
Hmm.
ended up going to TNA, which I don't get why she didn't become the Knockouts champion over there. But yeah, that would definitely be a great opponent. You got the intensity, she got the intensity. I know it'd be a great match.
Yeah, I watched Mercedes when she was on the Mae Young Classic for WWE at the time, and I remember I was like in, I don't know, middle school or high school, and I would watch the matches on my phone in between, like, you know, breaks in between classes. And all like the minute I saw Mercedes, it was just something about her presence where I was like, that girl is different. She's different, but I like that because it represents, like we said earlier, people like me that I know for a fact you put me in a lineup with 10 other girls, I'm going to stand out. I am different. I don't look the same. I'm 10 times bigger. Like, so I can appreciate that, but I also at the same time, I would love to get in the ring with somebody like that.
That's definitely cool. So we've talked about who you want to wrestle in 2026. Where are some places that you want to? We know you wrestle in New York, and you've wrestled in New Jersey,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure you've been to Philadelphia. If you haven't soon, because
Yeah.
Philadelphia's like right there. It's like 2 hours away. But where are some places or some venues or or some promotion that you want to actually wrestle in eventually?
Well, one of my dream, I have a couple of dream spots I would love to wrestle in. The first one would have to be in the streets of Tennessee.
Okay.
That Memphis style wrestling, I've seen clips of it and I've always been like, wow, I'd love to just wrestle in the streets of Tennessee. Nothing crazy, nothing spectacular, but just like real Southern wrestling. And I would also, like we said earlier, Puerto Rico. I would love to go to Puerto Rico and wrestle. And then another big place for me would have to be Australia. I would
Okay.
love to go to Australia. It's like my dream vacation spot, but also, why would I not want to wrestle there?
Mm.
Um, so yeah, and then of course anywhere like in Europe would always be cool. I want to realistically, I want to go to all the places. I want to check off all the states. I want to check off all the countries. I want to leave no stone unturned. Like one of my biggest goals in wrestling is to become a household name. And I know that I am young enough and I have the stamina and I have the discipline that I can definitely get there. I'm just one of those people that if I can get in your face every chance I get, I will. And I plan to do that with literally like everybody around the world. Like I aim to be to a point where not where I'm necessarily like John Cena, but to a level where it's like, Mel has been everywhere. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I want for myself.
I'll say that you're like I think I've asked that question to several wrestlers, and you're like the first that said they want to go to Australia. Like that's a dream spot. Normally they say Japan, and I tell them, well, make sure you get your Ribera jacket when you go there. It's like
Uh,
a rite of passage for wrestlers to go and get one of those jackets from the Ribera Steakhouse. But you're like the first one that's actually said Australia is like their vacation spot. Um, I'm interested in going to Australia. I might end up going there next year.
oh, nice.
but I don't know what, because I'm also a photographer, and one of the models, she's like, yeah, if I'm over there, maybe we can meet over there. I'm like, okay, I'm down. I mean, I like traveling. I like to challenge myself, but my only fear about when I go to Sydney is like, I don't know what to do. Like, the only thing I can think of is the Opera House, and that's it. Like, maybe, I don't know, get a kangaroo burger if I'm feeling that, motivated as a foodie, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. But like, I don't know anything else to do. But yeah, that I've never heard that one before. Australia. That's a first actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's mostly because like growing up, I've always had people around me tell me that I kind of give off like a surfer California vibe. I've never thought that of myself, but
Mm.
usually when people meet me, they always say I'm very like, relaxed. It kind of gives like California or Australia. So I think naturally, like once I, heard things like that, now it's to a point where I'm like, oh yeah, I would love to go to Australia.
Wow. Well, something. I hope you make it to all those places. I hope you get to, experience. Because if I could tell any young person, I always tell them, travel, travel, travel. Yes, New York is nice. Yeah, and this city never sleeps, but there's a world outside of it.
Yeah.
Go to Philly, go to DC. Go to Atlanta. Southern hospitality is a real thing down there. North Carolina is great too. They're like a close second for Southern hospitality. Miami is nice. Check out California. California is great. I always tell them where places where they should check out. And I know it's easier said than done because not everybody could travel internationally. By the way, if you haven't been to Europe yet, it's nice. Amsterdam, you definitely got to try the cheese if you're into cheese. But yeah, I always tell them like just travel, man. Even if it's not internationally, domestically. If not
Hmm.
domestically, go citywide. Trust me, there's a lot of great places you can probably check out. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I just got two more questions before we call the show. So I know that you want all the belts. It doesn't matter whether it's Battle Club Pro, whether it's Rising Stars, whether it's whatever promotion over in Philadelphia or over in California or Chicago. You want all the belts. But in terms of tag team wrestling, if you were going after, let's say, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship, the Knockouts Tag Team, or even Women's Tag Team Championships on the Indies, who would you say would be your tag team partner that you would want to go after those belts with?
Easily it would be Tina. Easily.
Okay. Wow.
Easily Tina San Antonio. Mostly because I want to wear the cowboy hat really bad. I've
Okay.
only I've only been able to do it when it comes to the back and she's still out in the ring. But yeah, I would love to feed into the concrete cowboy kind of deal. I mean, I have cowboy boots, so I would love to just do it up all the way with Tina. I would love to.
Oh wow, the concrete cowboy and the next big cowboy or next big cowgirl. Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Also, I just feel like Tita's kind of like the brains, Like I feel like I can bring a lot of the muscle, but I just know for a fact if I have the right person feeding the brain, we could win. You think we'll stop at one set of belts? Please, we'll take them all.
Oh yeah. I could that's a great thing. Mentor and student going after tag team titles. That's definitely a great dynamic.
Yeah,
Hey, it worked for Cody Rhodes and Bob Holly and Hardcore Holly. They
there
had
you
the
go.
belts for a bit too. So yeah, that would definitely be a great combination. So my last question. So I know you work out. I seen you in the gym doing the reps with the dumbbells and everything. You know, um, what are your what songs? I'm not gonna say top five because nobody has 5 songs on their workout playlist. If they have 5 workout songs on their playlist, they either probably just got a new phone or they're not there to work out. Take selfies. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call it a spade. I'm not even a gym buff, but I got a workout playlist, and I got more than 5 songs on on my playlist. Definitely
Yeah.
have way more. But what songs are on the next big things playlist whenever she's ready to do some cardio or knock out some reps in the gym?
Yeah. Well, recently I get sucked in so bad to like some of like the trending songs on social media. So like right now, I've been listening to. I want to make sure I get the artist correctly. But there's a song called Legacy that's kind of going viral on the internet right now, and it's like a slowed down version.
Mm.
Um, and that song I love, especially like if you listen to it, if you get the chance, it kind of sounds like a song I would love to listen to on like a late night drive. Um, so then there's that. And then let's see. I also recently have been getting into like, I don't want to say it's like, it's not like, it's not rock, but definitely just like very loud, kind of like screaming type of music.
Okay.
I don't know why, but like recently, like trying to lift heavy at the gym, that has been really able to do it for me.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I would say that. And then if not a good classic, like if I don't know what to listen to one day, I mean Drake is always good. What
Mm.
else? Who else do I listen to? Lil Tecca, that's also a good one. Um, and oh, Benny the Butcher, Benny the Butcher.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah, and which oh my gosh, what's his name? That he has his own wrestling company now. That they're like cousins. Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
yeah,
The
and
name is leaving me right now.
my boy Salvador actually watches it. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I was,
Yeah,
and it's funny because when you mentioned Benny the Butcher, I was like, oh, he's what's his name's cousin.
West Side Gun.
Um,
That's who it is.
who was it?
West Side Gun.
West Side. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I would love to wrestle for the promotion that he's got now. So that's another one.
You'll get there. I got a feeling you'll
Yeah.
get there. It's
I
just a
mean,
matter of
one part of Team Adams is already on there, Tierra James. So
what? Nah, we got to get you on there too, man. We got to
yeah,
get you.
yeah,
And you know the thing about Team Adams, I like everybody's a star there. Like Deanna Perrazzo, Wendy Chu, even like Tiara James. Like like when you see when they say, if they were to say if somebody were to say if they were to say, oh, they trained at Team Adams, I'm like, yeah, you look like you trained at Team Adams. What you mean? You look like a star. I've never seen somebody that came out of his school that didn't look like star quality. Even the one guy that I know that he trained, Ray Jazz,
yeah,
looks
yeah.
like a star. I'm like, yo, must be something over there, man. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely working.
Yeah, Damien only wants to he trains the best of the best, and it can be cutthroat, but realistically, I mean that's sometimes I mean that's just how the industry works. And like I said earlier, but at some point, despite all that, we become our own crazy like dysfunctional family. Like I said, I Tina and even Tierra, like Tierra and I we've gone head to head a couple of times, but at the same time, if I ever need like real advice, Tina and Tierra are the first two people I go to. So, you realize, I mean, of course, outside looking in, people see the talent, but we also acknowledge it from within as well. And I think that's what also makes us so great is because we're able to feed off each other because everybody is just great in their own way. And when you mesh it all together, I mean, it's just straight magic every time.
Yeah, man. Hey, y'all doing great work over there, man. I'm just impressed. Like, yeah, Damien is definitely doing great work. Shout out to Damien Adams, by the way. I don't know if he's ever gonna see this, but keep on doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah,
So
coach.
yeah. So I gotta say, Mel, it was a pleasure having you on. Thank you very much. I know, you got a lot going on preparing for your next match. Matter of fact, you're fighting somebody on September 19th, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot who it was. Geez.
Coraline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coraline. Yeah. So I know you're busy prepping for that. You're busy, getting ready to face her and everything, and wow the crowd once again. So we really and truly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be, on our show and just talk about your wrestling career and everything. So with that being said, before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out where your next appearance is, purchase Mel Ortiz merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book the next big thing, Mel Ortiz?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Mel Ortiz Pro. And then on TikTok, it's melortiz.pro. And speaking of merch, I actually just made a purchase recently. We're gonna have some t-shirts coming in quite soon. And let me tell you, they are yeah, like if I wasn't Mel Ortiz, I would be like, wow, these are the greatest shirts on earth. Genuinely. Like the design, I had some help. I can't take all the credit. But there are some hot shirts coming in. I feel like wrestling fan or not, you're gonna want one.
You know what? Let me know, and I'll definitely cop one. I'll wear it. At the next year.
You should.
Hey, let me tell y'all something. For those of you, she just gave her social media links. Go give this woman a follow. If you can't make the shows that she's at, you see she has merch now. That's another way you could support is buying the shirts that she's about to put out. She said they're fire, so go ahead and cop them fire shirts, and that way when she gets signed to WWE or AEW or TNA. And somebody goes, yo, I just got the new, Mel Ortiz shirt from Shop AEW or WWEshop.com. You could pull up and be like, yeah, that's all nice and everything. Cool story, bro. But I got her shirt from when this is not her shirt, obviously, but I got her shirt from when she was on the Indies, man. I'm a real fan, you know what I'm saying? So definitely go ahead and, hit, check out that merch link, and any idea where it's going to be released, or you don't have any particular spot yet, or is it just like email you and you'll send them a shirt? Or
Right now it's gonna be at shows, and then if somebody messages me and we could figure out the details, I have no problem going and sending them out to wherever they need to go. Because like I said, you're definitely gonna want one. They're very cool. Even now I can't wait for them to come in, but I have to tell myself Mel, you can't wear the shirt every day. Because I know for a fact I'm gonna want to wear it every day.
Don't tell me. I'll wear that shirt and I'll model it. I'll be like this. You know what I'm saying? Or like my Michael Jackson, on the bed like this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. but yeah, y'all go and support this lady, man. She's she's doing it for us, not just for herself, but not just for love of the game, but for us, the fans. So definitely go ahead and support. It's definitely a great feeling. And imagine when she gets signed and you wear that shirt at a signing that she has. Just imagine the look on her face. She's gonna be like, what? Trust me, I've been there before. I'm telling y'all. I'm not just saying this. I've been there before Paul London. So yeah. But that's another story that I'm gonna tell again another day. But Mel, once again, thank you very much. We are very grateful. We really and truly appreciate it. We wish you nothing but the absolute best in your career. We hope you get to wrestle everybody you want to wrestle. Go to all those places. If you get to Australia before me, let me know how the food is over there, what to see, because right now your boy's stumped. I don't know what to do when I get over there. After the Opera House, it's probably back to my hotel and binge watch a show. So, but yeah, I hope you get to do all that. And make sure y'all follow her. But with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. But before I partake in those activities, for those of you listening and watching, if you want to follow me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at the Remy Blue. If you're a foodie as well, definitely follow me on TikTok at the Remy Blues. All those. I'm also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue, and more importantly, our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter at Ringside Social. That's how it is, at Ringside Social. That's our new Twitter. So hit us up there. We're on Instagram and Blue Sky at Ringside Society. Facebook is a Facebook group, of course, Ringside Society. You'll find us there. And we're also on Spotify and Teespring, where we have our official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts, hoodies for fall that's coming up, coffee mugs for winter that's coming up, all that great stuff. Several designs, more designs coming are on Teespring. So check us out. All proceeds go back into keeping our show afloat. They did not go back into our pockets. And last but not least, more importantly, we have our YouTube channel where you can see great interviews like this one, like the interview we did with Mel Ortiz's opponent, Aria Rose, and Also former Top Dogs family member A Buck. Shout out to A Buck, who we've also had on our show. You can see all those great interviews on YouTube, and to see them is very simple. Even a caveman could do it. Just go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and once you see that really good looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sound with blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all the videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1990. As a matter of fact, I'm feeling so great today that I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of a spoiler. We actually have tomorrow at 6:00 p.m. Mel, you're gonna hate me, and I'm so sorry, but we're gonna be having none other than Brian Baum on our show. Yes, we'll be having the Thicky Time Bomb, who's a mix of brute energy, chaotic energy, who is not going to tone it down. He's going to be on our show tomorrow. Look at for what it's worth, he's also Puerto Rican. So, I think, yeah. So, it's still kind of a win, but he'll be on our show tomorrow at 6:00 p.m. That's 3:00 p.m. for all my West Coast riders. So stay tuned for that. And with that being said, we just want to thank everybody that tuned in live tonight. Thank you very much. We strive on being one of the best and realest wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. And we're not going to stop being that. To those of you that are going to listen later on, you get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we go away. Well, like myself at Golden Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while. With that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we're very well and aware that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But guess what? We're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag, we are not the same. With that being said, I'm going to say it right now. One time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for Team Adams, and one time for the next big thing, who is part full-time wrestler, part-time gym rat, but 100% amazing and 100% determination, Mel Ortiz, with the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we'll be back tomorrow with another impressive guest, another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.